Hi, welcome, my Fiifi-Manfred on YouTube. I'm subscribe to the channel and I subscribe to the channel. It's a big new edition. International break, all the news that so all the breaking news and how they brought Fiifi-Manfred on YouTube. So subscribe to the channel now. Subscribe to the channel and turn on notification. You know, so over here we give you the best in terms of football, tactical, post-match, pre-match, off the field analysis. So it's the best here. You don't get it any better than here of Fiifi-Manfred on YouTube. One subscriber to the channel, and I said I may mention, subscribe to the channel. One subscriber. Thank you very much for helping us grow. We want to help each other grow. A very, very imperative for me. Said DBM bro, the best in terms of football tactical analysis. And make sure say while you enjoy the analysis, you win something out of it. So I commit day and night to this. I'm very, very committed to it. And of course, one subscriber I'm sure pass one subscriber I do so I feel a subscriber so turn on notification the notification turn so make sure so you do choose all or into subscribing one turn notification and notification one turning all yes I will be a final bit and it said make sure so you share the link to any group any football group be a womb maybe enjoy analysis in the high Fiifi-Manfred on YouTube. Let us get into the conversation and the big stuff big deals in the world of football. And first of all, and he said the last time, and this is the last time any Chelsea manager, if we need a Premier League player or Premier League manager of the month, spans back to 3 years and ago under Thomas Tuchel. And I last time at Chelsea manager be winning the manager of the month in terms of a Juma now, and everybody knows the importance of manager of the month. So be every manager of the month, and it means that the month in review, a Juma manager now, how good the team no abobo. And also Chelsea throughout all the games Enzo Maresca managing in the month of September. There was no loss. All of them was a win. Chelsea managing was our matches now. They ended up winning all of them. They didn't end up winning all of them. They didn't lose a single one of them. I'm sorry. Games no. Baku Kroniwa, Chelsea Elusi they won all of them. Of course, they didn't win all of them. They were successful in all of them. I beg your pardon. Some of them draw, some of them wins in all of these games at Chelsea. And Enzo Maresca. And we need a Premier League manager of the month. In the month of September, Chelsea about 4 matches, so we need 3 or draw 1. It was that draw against Crystal Palace, and the other matches were Bournemouth or Kwawe against Antonio Ariola. Bournemouth side, it was a very difficult game. So that was one of the most difficult games that Chelsea about this season away at the Vitality. Then away from that, Chelsea also went on to go and play in that game against Crystal Palace. That was the only draw at Chelsea in here. Then Chelsea got a 3-0 win against West Ham and 4-2 win against Team friend of Brighton and Hove Albion. In the month of October, Chelsea is starting with a draw at home. There's a game against Newcastle. There's a game against Manchester United. There's a game against Liverpool after international break. Yeah, all the analysis for you. Next week in terms of our games. But the last time, maybe so how many points do you think that things to go on in there? I think that today the question that I want to ask you when they said, Sir Enzo Maresca are all winning Premier League Manager of the Month. And no, the first one in about 3 years for a Chelsea manager. Do you think say this is the biggest testament? Say Chelsea really have gotten to where they have to get to now. Like Chelsea winning a long time, manager of the month. And make time near Thomas Tuchel, any Emma Hayes, Samantha Nosa, Emma Hayes for the Chelsea women's not a winning manager of the month, and Thomas Tuchel also winning manager of the month. And after that, Chelsea have not won the manager of the month. In fact, Enzo Maresca, manager of the month, to air the first time under the new owners. And that Todd Bowley, Baghdad, Egbali, clearly consortium on Babetum about a top club. This is the first time a Chelsea manager has won in terms of the men. No, we need the manager of the month. And in the same month also, Cole Palmer has won the player of the month. No, and then I see 2 questions. When did you realize that Cole Palmer is a top-notch player? Tell me now, realize it. Because for me, last season, I Cole Palmer in your man, no Bobo. Obi catcher me say, yes, I go no share against Luton. Our control ball will be able to chum from a couple shame. For them, that was the goal. That was the time where they accepted that a bunch of Cole Palmer was out of this world and he was definitely going to be world class and win something very huge. For me, I think said it was that fourth goal I was share against Tima, your friend of Brighton and Hove Albion at Stamford Bridge the last time out now. Nenye free kick. It was that fourth goal. I think say no, a pure cognitive ability. Then after that, in a game against Nottingham Forest, he did a little flick in front of the centre backer. Or boy, a goalkeeper sells a saving twice on a bounce now. That again took me to the level where I really, really came to the point to understand that now Cole Palmer a top draw or a top notch player in Ejuma Bia as a Chelsea player now. And for me, maybe so when did you realize that Cole Palmer a world class player? And the next question, and they say, Sir Enzo Maresca, winning manager of the month, doesn't now really come, show say Chelsea ownership have gotten it right and they are on the right track, and or you think that those were just easy games and not Chelsea, but so it doesn't really change anything. Yes, and yeah, Chelsea and make any noise about it. What do you think? I want to hear from you in the comment section. I mean, who comment? Let me know what you think about that game now. Chelsea. Enzo Maresca, we need the manager of the month. And you see, I wrote this down. The crazy thing now, and I said, you see how well Enzo Maresca has done in such a short time, and how he's done without looking to breaking any sweat. He's handled issues of the field. The last time I told you, the handling of issues of the pitch, has been excellent. Enzo Fernandez issue of racism or Kokobaya, a brouhaha in the world, he handled it excellently well. Then the issue of all of the other players, almost over 42 players, about press conference and how he handles it, it was top notch again. And that's exactly what Papa Fred Enzo Maresca and he has won the manager of the month. The last time in December 2016, Chelsea player Diego Costa winning player of the month in December 2016. Then Antonio Conte winning manager of the month and a goal of the month. Ekoma Pedro Gonzalez or Pedro Rodriguez for Chelsea in 2016. And then Chelsea women's coach Sonia Bompaster. And we need the females or the English Premier League Barclays Women's Premier League manager of the month. Sonia Bompaster, Chelsea female coach winning and a manager of the month. And remember Enzo Maresca in that regard. And there's a nice picture Enzo Maresca and then the staff Posey Eka said thank you for the work that they've done. I think said for me this really intensifies and then shows exactly the kind of work Enzo Maresca it has been easy peasy for him. The club was in a very toxic place or people didn't give him any chance. And a lot of the critics of Enzo Maresca said this is his first time in management, and you will agree with them. Said any experience at the top, sir. He just came from the championship with Leicester City. How was he really going to fare? I think that for me, I've said it several times, and I'll say it again. And they said the day I really got to understand and say Enzo Maresca is a top manager was the first time he spoke. Makani several times, and people who are top in their job, with the clarity of thought. Exactly at the person. They know exactly what they want from their games. They know exactly what they want from their players, and straight on it. They don't bend the rules. They don't pretend to be nice guys when they are not, because they know exactly what they are doing. A lot of self-confidence in their job. They give it time and it delivers. And I'll always go back and talk about the job Pep Guardiola by Manchester City and how it started. The likes of Gal Clichy, he sacked them from the team. The likes of Claudio Bravo, he sacked them. Brought in 3 or 4 different goalkeepers, Joe Hartman, then it worked for them. And these are managers that know exactly what they want for them. And Enzo Maresca, the season has begun so well for Chelsea, about 6 more points than they had as compared to last season. And now I'm in the graph now, and then you look at the quality of player Chelsea boys neighbor. There is a lot of excitement among the team. Uti, Marco Correa, I see everybody or what Chelsea, were excellent. I did about one confusion and myself. And when Chelsea ever go for Enzo Maresca, sporting directors, they were never, ever in question of the tactical acumen. That was never part of the questions. If there was ever a thing that sporting directors were worried about, now Enzo Maresca tactical acumen ain't count. They were not worried about his tactical acumen. In fact, one of the things that they were much comfortable about are the tactics of Enzo Maresca and then the tactical acumen. Say, okay, on Obetima managing games or Obetima somebody Obetima tricky games, the in-game management, the variations, the tactical variations, how he starts the game, how he reads the game, the in-game reading, the tweaks that he will do in there, how he inspires players. It was never a question for Chelsea sporting directors. Now, there was something that was a question for them. Inside, and then Matlo mo Neza Kansala mo Yenya Raman Osman mo are now reporting that in Stamford Bridge and in Cobham, everybody's beginning to say that wow. I didn't hear a little bit of a question about him. I say he has passed it. Now, I make a story being shown. I brought now Enzo Maresca or Leicester City. Now a little bit snobbish. Just Antonio Conte mo. Inti over dressing over a pre-match press conference. Now baby the question that 77 years anymore. He'll tell you his mind. Now all men say Wesker, he didn't do that. In fact, there are times where he didn't even go for the post-match press conference. Time and Leicester for beginning some more dropping points our championship name last season. There were times he didn't go for the post-match press conference. Because now if journalists now are beginning to become negative. And then they do babies now Leicester fans you know some way your back came power honor they were beginning to act very funny towards him. It's not a very, very straightforward, very strict. Wasn't mincing words. It's a brand just for fun. They knew the tactical acumen. In fact, George Shields had told them a story of how excellent he is, or the Manchester City elite developmental squad. Now, the thing that they were worried about with respect to Enzo Maresca was as a person. How he speaks. Sometimes he gets angry. Will he be able to manage the press? Because no one himself, in terms of toxicity, Chelsea club number be a little bit toxic. Nipe Wabontinya don't really speak well of the club. And it's man. So can they get somebody who really can calm down, who can be patient, who can now lead the charge in terms of winning the fans back, winning the media back? And those were the slight issues that Enzo Maresca or Leicester City. Now, if you listen to Julian Ballon tells a story of when Chelsea sporting directors said don't conduct any more interviews and they found their man in Enzo Maresca. Now, Okachi almost said, Abraham all call Leicester Juma. The day and all call Leicester interview. Near the Babema penny. Enzo have 4 children. Near the Babema penny. The birthday. Now, not only the mask they will meet maybe so it's only my brother. Every time saying the birthday, they don't do anything. They don't make sure they celebrate them. It's a huge thing. One celebrating birthday with your family, it's something. So Enzo Maresca had to explain to his son and then go. And Onya Leicester Jumano, he placed it on his wall. Said he had to miss his son's birthday for that job. So he better works it. The catch almost no. So make a commitment that he commits to something. He gives it his all, and he makes sure that he sees it to the latter. If it's about communication, he'll get a job done. Say a tactician, he can get a job done. On my Chelsea owners, no one sporting directors now will be said they shouldn't be too perturbed. They should not be too perturbed about the things that will go on in and outside of the medium. He will control everything and he will manage things. And in the first few games of the season, Enzo Maresca winning manager of the month, the first time under this same ownership, the quality of a manager, and in the same month, Cole Palmer we need a player of the month. Marco Correa in the Spanish national team was saying some things about Abrantia friend Cole Palmer, what he brings to the team, the things he says now, and how good of a player Abrantia your friend Cole Palmer how he thinks that Cole Palmer can be a world beater in the next few years. So it's really something really huge, he spoke about it and Mekama or say if Cole Palmer is not wearing his kit and he's walking outside, you will not see that he is a player. The only thing that you will see is somebody that is walking by, and that's Abrantia friend Marco Correa Ekasa about Abrantia friend Cole Palmer. And I think that is true. Almost will be a Cole Palmer outside of the Chelsea jersey, and it's like they will not think so a player, but that's a top player. Also, we need Premier League player of the month in the same month. Abrantia, your friend Enzo Maresca, so we need manager of the month, and of course, in there, and then Modric, Ukraine, and Georgia were a big game in the European qualifiers. Now, Abrantia friend Mihailo Modric. In the last few days, I've been saying, Modric's performances keep on getting better. He keeps on getting better. Niniema on and off the ball, how he controls games, how let's be patient, how unforeseen issues need be, how calm in games now. Modric seems to be getting things done on the matches and on their first goal against for Ukraine in a very long time now. Abrantia, your friend Mihailo Modric in their first goal for Tima, your friend of Ukraine. There is good news for Chelsea Football Club. Abrantia friend Reece James Reece James returning to full training right after the international break. No, Matt Law and then partner all Mamisa insights. Now say Chelsea, Reece James is due back in full training. All being well next week, hopefully. Next week after international break, no, Abrante and Reece James ever started full training for Chelsea. My catcher said last 2 weeks before the international break, Reece James granted a personal conversation. No, will be needing common and catching the pants. So no, they fully fit. Was started training alone on the grass. But I said they are not Chelsea. I catching and say they won't rush in. Onto the boss they have a timeline for you and they will ease him in. And that's exactly what Enzo Maresca saw here going forward. And with James starting the full training, after next week, right after the international break, players Obiaban. And in that, maybe one third question. Which players would you start in that game away at Liverpool? Players Ben Albert started. Oberbo 3-back of Renato Viega, Cole, and it was in Adrebiayo. No one by midfield of Enzo Fernandez, Lavia, and Caicedo, and play Cole Palmer as a 10 in front of them. Then have a front three of Jack, Jadon Sancho, Nicholas Jackson, and Noni Maduikana. How are you going to line up against Liverpool? Fofana Kukurea is suspended. Bold decision from Enzo Maresca. No better say on drop your branch for the Malo Gusto. Because of course the formation I mean the best side in recent games now. Rather like to see Caicedo being inverted from right hand side on him. Abeshin Fiifi on him on the Brighton times on. Then Vega best got in as a third centre back. Then you have Mabrante for the Romeo Lavia and Moise Caicedo as the base. Then Enzo Fernandez and Nico Palmer will form the box midfield up top now on him. Without Wesley Fofana, you become a bit more vulnerable in transition, which is very true. Adebayo Chelsea will lose the ability of Wesley Fofana to read games and then defend in transition. Chelsea may not have it all on them. But Lavia and Enzo will both do a good job at exploiting the press. The former being very press resistant. That is Lavia. Very, very press resistant. I think that it's going to be an important game for Romeo Lavia away at Liverpool. Our Anfield on him because we're resting a lot. He has returned from injury. Nothing really wrong with him on him. And of course, ball carry, of Romeo Lavia very important. The letter operating from a deep and breaking the lines in there. And of course, adding Abrante Fenum, tossing Adrabia and any Levico line breaking ability, it's going to be a huge one for Chelsea. And then the theme to be going on very well. Other news are also all over the world. Now, on Fiifi-Manfred on YouTube, and then we get to say coach friend Thomas Tuchel is going to probably be the next English manager, England for manager, possibly over a coach friend Thomas Tuchel. And I think the international football will really fit Thomas Tuchel. There isn't any day-to-day job will be you would go neck and neck with any club official. I'll be falling off with them. So at the latter stages of Thomas Tuchel's career at Chelsea, he fell off with the Chelsea ownership. And then of course, LFC by mission, so only Olihone and Simon, and a lot of the Bayern hierarchy, they fell off in there. And then of course, it was a big issue in there for a branch friend Thomas Tuchel. England for now are beginning to speak to him. Lee Castley, the interim manager by Lusa Sisa Brantia. Your friend Thomas Tuchel may become the next English manager, and I think that is going to fit him very well. He has a feel of what English and England football is. He has been Chelsea manager before. He has been in England before, and I think that he has the temperament to lead a charge of English football. He's German, but definitely he has a feel of what English football looks like, and he can get a job done. Of course, Manchester United this week, almost a big meeting. Manchester United, big meeting. Manchester United. There was all of the big names on Brestford, Wilcott, Ashworth. All of these guys, they were there. They came on, had a big meeting and a big decision on Abrantia, your friend Erik Ten Hag. What is going to happen to him after international break now? Are they giving him some more crucial game to see if he can turn it around as a manager? And like Omokai, management having been so long in there, but they want to see if Abrantia manager friend Erik Ten Hag are going to keep him there and also be free on him. So we'll wait to see. But former England manager, your friend Gary Southgate, has ruled himself out of some Manchester United job. He is not. Gary Southgate is not. He is not going to be the next Manchester United manager. Why any clear in a personal conversation in the Southgate has effectively ruled himself out for the running of Manchester United job by revealing he will not return to management in at least 1 year or in there. Of course, In January, there's a possibility Sabrantia, your friend of Victor Osimhen. Chelsea. Also, the last game against Nottingham Forest, and one of the things that was missing in that big game against Manchester City in the opening of the league, was the box presence. I didn't have a box presence. It's a striker, original boxing. Now, very good with it. Oh, really had this because anytime when Chelsea person box crosses, there was no box presence in the box for them. And then, of course, still Chelsea last summer there was a branch of John Duran. There was Samuel Maradion, and a branch of Victor Osimhen. Galatasaray for man in TSA. He's not going to be permanent over there. And it looks as if there's a possibility of branch of Victor Osimhen in January, and then even going for a bit senior free team. Your friend Galatasaray, Chelsea are still interested. We wait to see how all of that goes in terms of the quality of star playing. Newcastle for any Arsenal are looking at a branch of Antoine Semenyo, former Ghana player for Antoine Semenyo, possibly he's going to go on and do the job. UEFA Player of the Year, former concentration on Arsenal future despite links to team to Saudi Arabia. Of course, the last time you say Jurgen Klopp is now the leader of Red Bull for only this are charging on Manchester United. We want to find sporting for center for your friend Victor Gyökeres. Of course, Chelsea. They will not allow Mihailo Modric to go on loan. They have a lot of plans for him. Omonim says he's going to be there for a very, very long time, and they don't want to let Abrante friend Mihailo Modric to go on loan in there. So there is a possibility that say Thomas Tuchel ever come Manchester United and also for England job. How is it going to end up in there? Thomas Tuchel, is it going to be Manchester United and I say England the Jumano? How is it going to look like? Is it going to go to Manchester United and as England the Jumano and because it's a big one. It's something that Thomas Tuchel has been out of management for a while now, and he would want to take up a good job. He wants to take up a good job. And then he knows that it's very, very important for him. So we started one year Juma. Of course, imagine Thomas Tuchel with Cole Palmer, Jude Bellingham, Phil Foden, team. I think that you have an excellent team to manage and then do a very, very good job. And Thomas Tuchel. The Ballon d'Or is coming. Ballon d'Or, and of course the 2024 winner will not be interviewed by France Football before the ceremony. The winner will only know what he has won the Ballon d'Or on the 28th of October. But I'm telling you, and then say a lot of the people like Massa, I'm close to Vinicius Jr. The photo of Snowy Brain, and it looks as if Vinicius Jr. and we need this year Ballon d'Or. Ballon d'Or. It is very, very clear that it's going to Abrantia, your friend of Vinicius Jr. Quality player by our standard, played very, very well last season for Team of Real Madrid, scoring in important games in a semi-final and the final of the Champions League. Abrantia, your friend of Vinicius Jr. It looks very, very set. So Obe winning the team, the gamer, your friend of the Ballon d'Or trophy, he deserves it. I think Abrantia, your friend of Vinicius Jr. really does deserves it. And Jamal Musiala in an interview, almost be saying about the Ballon d'Or, be saying Vini Jr. or Lamine Yamal, and also Vini Jr. Abrantia friend Jamal Musiala, also Vini Jr. Of course, in an interview for Noni Madwiki, he was asked who's the best player in the world right now, or say Vini Jr. Vini Jr. or Phil Foden, or say Vini Jr. or Bruno, or say Vini. And Luis Asif said he believes that Vini Jr. is an important player. I think that everything is going on well. Say Abrantia, your friend Vinicius Jr. is going to win the Ballon d'Or. The Ballon d'Or, no. Abrantia, your friend Vinicius Jr. looks set. So we need the Ballon d'Or, no. Right after the international break, somewhere around there is going to be the big one, the Grand Clasico. The Grand Clasico, no. And we are going to have that conversation over there because we want to know the points difference between Barcelona and Real Madrid and a little bit close. Who wins it? The Clasico between Barcelona and Real Madrid. How is it going to look like for both players? Because now Barca, so almost everybody back. Frankie de Jong has been called. I spoke to Frankie de Jong on phone. With all due respect, he's still far from returning 100%. It's too early. He found playing for 15 minutes exciting and tough. He still needs to play for a while to get into his rhythm. And this is the coach of Netherlands national team, Ronald Koeman, Our Casaba Frankie Dion, he's returning. Abrante Feni Pedri, Nick Gavi, they are all returning after the international break. Lamine Yamal, we have gotten some rest in them. Paul Victor, Modanio Momo, on registration in January, it's not in doubt. Paul Kubasi, an important player. I still live in La Masia, still lots of Barca for academy. He has not bought a house, he has not moved out there. Also, already as a young boy, he still lives in La Masia. How is Kubasi outside of football? I'm a quiet person. I try to be with my family and friends in there. And Paul Kubasi, I kind of say one of the best line breaking passes for his age. Ball progresses, deep line. A clinical example of what Barcelona produces from La Masia, and that's the boy in front of Paul and Kubasi. I say, would you want to be a defensive player or someone that helps in construction? I say both in good. I'm good at playing out from the back, but you know how to press and be aggressive as well. And I think one of the best remarks of Abante friend Paul Kubasi was that big game against Napoli in the Champions League. Oba next to Abante friend Victor Osimhen, but really did hold his own. I've been playing with Inigo since the beginning of the season. He helps me on and off the pitch. Having him by my side gives me confidence and security. I can't say the best centre back pair assistant now for Barcelona doesn't have Araujo inside. It is Kubasi and then Inigo Martinez. Excellent pair, athletic enough and also aggressive enough, and also have the right technical ability to play for it. It's important. So you've played against stars like Mbappe. Do you think you're mature quickly? It's always helps. I'm very young. I'm a very young player, and I need to improve. But facing players makes you better and gives you the experience in there. That's talking about Benche friend Paul Kubasi and how good he is. He had a very, very extensive interview after international break. He didn't come. In fact, he has been compared to legend, Barca legend, our friend Carlos Puyol. And I'll say my goal is to have the Puyol personality on and off the pitch. He's a leader that tries to help his teammates. If things go bad, he encourages them. If things go well, he pushes the team to do more. He is my role model. I think that like everybody that I've watched Barca and La Masia, do you know Sabantia? I'm your friend Carlos Puyol, one of the most important players for Barca for a very, very long time. And it is good to say Abrantia, your friend Paul Kubasi, a person making in terms of the growth as a player and what he wants to do. No, I want to wait to see if Abrantia friend Paul Kubasi be an excellent career like Abrantia, your friend Carlos Puyol. No, but of course, this is where we draw the curtain. Of course, there's a lot of sports updates. I'm watching all the clubs. Fiifi-Manfred on YouTube. On subscribe to the channel now. Subscribe it, turn on notification. Very, very imperative. So subscribe to the channel. And we'll give you the best in terms of football tactical analysis. I want to say turn on notification. You didn't come on. Take care. Bye bye.